Okay. So
It's
is
coming.
Jesus. There we are.
Can apple cider vinegar improve your health? Can it help you lose weight? We're going to find out the answers to that question and other ones right after this. Welcome, everybody. This is the Life Enthusiast Online Radio and TV Network. I'm your host, Scott Paton. Joining us, as usual, is Martin Pytela, health coach. Hey, Martin, how are you doing today?
It's a good life.
It's a good life. All right. Before we get into apple cider vinegar, I think there's a really important thing people need to get their head around, and almost nobody outside of yourself and myself, and only me because I know you, get it. And that is, if you have a runny nose, if you have a cough, if you're sneezing, if you have a stuffy head, and you feel like you've got this cold, a sickness, and a flu, everybody thinks it's a bad thing. But in fact, it's a good thing. And I want you to take a moment to just sort of explain it to everybody.
All right. I think Scott threw the stick to me to carry. So, flu really is a symptom of your body detoxifying. It is actually trying to get rid of things. And so when your nose is running, it's fluids leaving, especially mucus, stuff that it wants to get rid of. When you're coughing, it's the alveoli in the lungs and whatever else is in here trying to bring stuff up and let it out of your throat, get it out of here. And then, of course, you may have diarrhea, you may be throwing up, and the best thing you can do is to sweat. And there are two things. One is the old school, which is take an aspirin and get in bed, cover up warmly, and allow your body to sweat. Because you sweat it out, the toxins will leave your body through the pores, and you're good. Now, if you have a sauna, get in a sauna. If you have neither of the two, get in a hot bath, especially with baking soda, magnesium, say like Epsom salts, and with some borax. 20 to 30 minutes in a hot bath. You'll be sweating. You won't see it, but your body will be dumping toxins into the bath. Quickest way to get over a flu. Is that what you meant, Scott? Huh. I know you're there. You're just not talking.
Yes. It's just a little slow on this end. I'm in deepest, darkest Africa, and unfortunately, they promise good Wi-Fi, but they're not delivering. So if I disappear for a while, that's it. Yeah, and the reason it came up is before we went online, you were coughing a little bit, and I thought, you know what? We need to, and I have some friends here who have a cold, and I thought, we need to talk about that because they want to suppress everything and a few weeks ago, you and I were talking. I think we talked about it online. Like I got off of a flight, and for the next 24 hours, I had full on turned on the faucet. Stuff was coming out of my nose, white and clear, and I could have tried to stop it, and I just said no. I'm going to just sort of lay down and just let it all out. And the next day, I felt great. So yeah. I think it's really important that we understand that our health is not the way we've been taught.
Exactly. And the more you fight it, the longer it will be. Yeah. Anyway, you wanted to talk about apple cider vinegar, did you not?
Sorry, I dropped for a second. I didn't hear what you said.
I said you wanted to talk about apple cider vinegar, did you not?
That's right. Today's topic is the real reason why apple cider vinegar helps with weight loss. And I guess let's talk about one myth about apple cider vinegar, and that is it's full of nutrients. It's incredibly nutritious.
Well, that's marginal. It's mostly vinegar, but that's good. Acetic acid is one of the good amino. No, it's not amino. Well, it's an organic acid, right? Like the simplest one is HCl, which is hydrochloric. Your stomach makes that. Acetic acid, that's vinegar. Citric acid, that's from lemons. Malic acid, that's from apples. Then there's the simpler ones like propionic, valeric, and butyric. Those are the simple acids that are helping your body manage its pH. And this talk about the flu and coughing and whatever, you hear about taking vitamin C. Well, actually, the common vitamin C is ascorbic acid, which is not really the vitamin C complex as you would find in plants. It's just crystalline ascorbic acid. And you take that, and it has a phenomenal benefit. It acidifies your inner terrain, which is what the cells are really needing to do, to dump toxins. So whether you're going to drink apple cider vinegar or take some butyric acid, as in, like we have a product called tributyrate, that's really cool stuff, helps your body, or you take the ascorbic acid, either way, you'll get relief from congestion in the body. Oh, we're getting questions. Look at that. Hey, Michael. Michael has been drinking apple cider vinegar from a mother for 15 years. And then he is been drinking it for stomach instead of taking Pepto-Bismol or something silly. And that is a beautiful thing, because when you increase the acidity of your stomach has the power to deal with the incoming traffic more efficiently. Many people in the medical system say, well, your stomach is too sour and you are burping up acid and you're having heartburn and we need to lower the acidity of your stomach. Wrong. If your acidity of your stomach were greater, it would actually shut the valve at the bottom of the esophagus or top of the stomach, and you would be burping up no such thing. So anyway, that's the important bit about apple cider vinegar or any organic acid. It helps you with digestion, but it also helps you structure your cellular health better. So the talk about apple cider vinegar was supposed to be this. It helps you get rid of toxins. It helps you correct your pH balance. Therefore, it helps you release the fat that your body's hanging onto in order to store toxins. It's a bizarre thing. Like a lot of that light kind of fluffy fat that you find on your belly is, in fact, helping your body release what it's hanging onto. And that is this wonderful point. It's helping you release the water. And it will take off the weight of the legs as well. Yes, all beautiful points, because once you correct the pH, the toxins are released. They no longer need to be diluted by water, right? Like your body is retaining the water so that it can lower the concentration of the toxins. So when the toxins are gone, the concentration is, well, what's the word? You can let go of the water because you don't have the reason for which you're holding the water there. Here's the thing. Cortisol is the hormone that your adrenals release in response to stress. So you have some external threat or perceived threat, whether it's all in your head or whether it's coming in from the outside, your body can't tell. It releases cortisol, and cortisol is what causes your pH to go more alkaline. Bizarre as that goes. And if it stays that way, you will experience things like cramps, neuritis, as in pain in the nerves, pain in the limbs, and stuff like that. And it has to do with the sodium-potassium balance, where cortisol causes the retention of sodium. By the way, that's why doctors tell you to be eating less salt, because you are retaining sodium. The answer isn't to eat less salt? The answer is to be less stressed, to relax. And in fact, the better answer would be to increase potassium. Main reason for the doctors not talking about potassium is that potassium is bound up in your cells on the inside of the cell, inside of cell barrier or cell membrane, which means that when they do a blood test, they don't see potassium. The potassium is in your body, but hiding from the blood test. So what am I trying to tell you? If you increased your intake of potassium, or if you increase the intake of organic acids, such as acetic or lactic or propionic or butyric, all of them will help to reorganize the cell terrain in such a way that you will be not hanging on to toxins, will be releasing the effects of stress. So constipation goes away, muscle weakness goes away, blood pressure normalizes, possibly irregular heartbeat will become more regular. All kinds of diffuse pain will go away. Arthritic pain goes away. Cramps stop. Now, if you are eating a diet that's too high in protein, you will end up with a metabolite of digesting proteins, and that's called guanidine. Some people pronounce it guanidine. And it causes your body to be more alkaline. And the antidote to that is to increase the intake of both sodium and potassium, but you need, well, the numbers that you see on RDA, they say 2,500 milligrams of sodium, 4,700 milligrams of potassium. So by weight, you need about double potassium of sodium. So if you were taking a teaspoon of salt in a day, you would need to be taking 2 teaspoons of potassium chloride, KCl, which, by the way, you can purchase in grocery store aisles. It's called the salt alternative. Look for that, KCl. I have also seen bags of it sold for water softener, as a water softener salt. And that was sold in 20-pound bags for cheap. All right, so Stan says, does the apple cider vinegar help relieve gas in the stomach? Well, if you mean burping, the answer is yes. Yeah. Okay, so what else do we know? Well, I guess we should give an instruction. So on Life Enthusiast, you can buy potassium in liquid form. It's just a bottle of potassium. You can take it by the spoonful. You can buy it for cheap in a grocery store. The normal acquisition of potassium in food, it's rich in bananas, potatoes, all the green things. As long as you eat lots of salads, you will probably be okay. But it's smart to take extra potassium. When you do, you will probably feel more energetic. But more than the mineral potassium itself, we should also focus on the pH, on the body lacking organic acids. Normally, we create a lot of lactic acid by working hard, like when we exercise or over-exercise to the point where we are cramping up from the exertion. That's lactic acid being produced by your cells. And you, in fact, need that because that lactic acid is going to be utilized in your colon to regulate the pH. Your colon is supposed to be quite acidic. And if it does not get enough acidity, your elimination will suffer. And your water retention will suffer, and so on. Anyway, so this quick drink that helps a lot of people is this. 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, optional cranberry juice, maybe a teaspoon of that, a pinch of salt, a wee bit of something sweet. I personally use Canadian maple syrup, but honey will work. Blackstrap molasses will work. Just anything to cut the edge of the intense sourness of the vinegar and lemon. And finally, if you like, you can add ginger. Ginger is an interesting stimulant. It is, well, if you've already experienced it, ginger has quite a bite to it. And it's awesome to just slice up a piece of ginger root. It's a tuber. And put it in water and let it just steep in the water. Or if you want, you can make ginger tea with it. And then you can add that to this drink. Now, some people love ginger, others not so much. For others, it's just an unpleasant stimulation that they don't care about. So if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, skip it. Hey, Scotsman.
Yeah, I want to make a comment about the ginger drink, because there's a drink here in Kenya called dawa, D-A-W-A or D-O-H-A. I forget how. I've seen it both ways. And it's ginger. It's a hot drink. It's ginger. They give you some honey on the side to sweeten it up, and lemon, freshly squeezed lemon in a hot drink. And I'll tell you, you take a couple sips, and you don't know if it's the heat of the hot drink or the heat of the ginger that's causing everything to go on fire. But it's a really, really good drink, and I'm quite enjoying it here.
Right. Back in America, ginger ale is the drink, but when you buy commercial ginger ale, it's a pale shade of that thing. You need to make your own.
The real thing. I remember as a kid, when I had the flu, my mom would give me some ginger ale to drink.
Right. Which it works, right? Ginger ale will stimulate elimination because ginger does have the stimulation. But it's a very, very mild thing the way it's sold commercially. Right.
So, Martin, before we wrap up, just getting back to apple cider vinegar, I think the drink that you put together was excellent. I know I've tried to be consistent in having apple cider vinegar, and I just find it's too, and I drink all sorts of stuff that tastes terrible. But for me, there's just something that's just like, oh, I just can't get it down. But I'm thinking if I mix, I think two things. One is I have too much apple cider vinegar, and the other is I'm not mixing it with other things that kind of take away the whole taste. Yeah. And turmeric is another tuber like ginger that I really like taking in a tea.
Here's a cute question. How's your Swahili coming on, Manamuki?
I know how to say hello, Jambo. Thank you, Michael.
There it is, Jambo.
And not much else. Yeah, and Mambo and Jambo, and of course, there's actually a restaurant on the beach here that when the waitress one of the waitresses brings me the bill, she tells me the amount in Swahili, and then she makes me repeat it. And so she's actually teaching me Swahili. It's really wonderful, but I'm a bad student.
Oh, well, I mean, Swahili made it into the general stuff through Disney, Simba for lion, and
right. And all the rest of it. Yes, Simba the lion.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful, beautiful language. When I hear them speaking it, I just think, wow, it's musical, and the popular songs in Swahili are just gorgeous. My sister lived in Kenya for a year in 2005. I can sing that song, but that's it. Thanks, Michael.
Yipitambo. Okay, never mind.
So, Martin, is there a product that we have at Life Enthusiasts that you would recommend for people that, because this was really about apple cider and losing weight, that they could take to help them with their weight loss?
We don't necessarily need to push people into spending a lot of money. Like if you find yourself with 100 or more pounds overweight and you can handle some stimulation, like you are, for example, drinking coffee or even energy drinks and all of that, I have the right product for you. It is called Power Slim, POWR Slim, SLIM. The Power Slim is put together as a stimulant, appetite suppressant, and superfood. So you are taking things that will nourish you and help you build healthy cells. It will limit your appetite, and it will give you stimulation. So if you don't do well on stimulants like coffee or whatnot, don't do it. So that would be my weight loss push it. Otherwise, just simple acids. I mean, we do sell the tributyrin, which is butyric acid. It has another wonderful reason for being used as a supplement, because it helps create the proper terrain in your small intestine. And we have the straight on potassium for people who do need more of that. I remember I was a tired puppy when I was about 36, 37 years old, 1986. I was 34. And I came upon a potassium drink, potassium supplement. I started drinking it, and all of a sudden, instead of falling asleep after dinner, I was dancing with my kids, and I was doing all kinds of wild stuff, and I didn't need to go to bed until midnight, and just super energized. And it was all thanks to supplementing potassium, which is different from supplementing apple cider vinegar. People keep thinking there's potassium in apple cider vinegar. It's not. It just helps the body to balance it and release the stores. Oh, it's complicated. So what would I do for weight loss? I would push apple cider vinegar, and I would also push potassium. Those will definitely help, because one of the important reasons people retain fat on their belly is cortisol. And cortisol pushes the pH, and the antidote to cortisol is to lower the pH, and that's the vinegar. So that's why we need to go there. Well, I am looking at my clock. I have about 3 minutes left here. So if you have another question, oh, this is a cool one. And then we'll see the verse of Jambabuano. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we're having fun this way. So next thing that we're going to do is this. What Scott just put up on the bottom of the screen is this. We are going to be, and this is an incorrect way it's written down. I'm actually going to have to write it out correctly, because the link is actually https://t.me/lifentco. This is the correct link. I don't know why it says escape to Mexico now. That I don't understand. But this is the link where you'll find me in 2 minutes. We have been wanting to support freedom of expression. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution is the ability to speak your mind freely. And that has become a rare thing. I don't know what the trick is with Telegram. The founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, was just a few days ago arrested in France. He was born in Russia, but he also has a French citizenship. And he landed in France, and as soon as he got out of the airplane, they came and arrested him, and they arrested him for supporting terrible activities, such as people talking with one another privately without government oversight. And they're very upset about it, and they want to sue him on supporting horrible things like abuse of children, abuse of other crimes, whatever they are. Well, he's not the problem. The problems are the criminals. He only provides a free platform for people to be able to converse with one another. Well, we'll see how that goes, right? I certainly would like to offer support to Pavel, and I would like everyone to join us on Telegram, where the freedom of expression is still supported. Here, we don't dare to say certain things because we will end up, what's the word? In a penalty box. Okay, guys, I'm leaving here and I'm going to see you on Telegram. Please join me there. Download the Telegram app, go to telegram.com, download the app from there, and then join me at this channel. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.